here's what I want to talk to y'all about. Spider-Man 2 PS5 tech info. I got some interesting things I want to share with y'all, so we about to get right down to it. Any questions that y'all got, I'll answer a few of them after I'm done talking about it, all right? So here's the first thing I want to share with y'all when it comes to Spider-Man PS5 tech info. One thing I can tell you from a couple of sources that I got regarding the next Spider-Man game is that you see how Ratchet and Clank looks, like how amazing it is. Now, this may not come to as a surprise, but what I can honestly say is that Spider-Man 2 looks better, will look better than Ratchet and Clank. And when I mean look better, I'm talking about like how do you get much better than Ratchet and Clank? It looked like a Pixar movie now, like for real. But Spider-Man 2 looks better than Ratchet and Clank. For real. Like, for real. That's one. Two, Spider-Man 2 will be just as populated or more than Ratchet and Clank on PS5. And I talk about like the NPCs and just everything that's going on in the world and stuff like that is going to be that much more populated than Ratchet and Clank. Like, for real. The third thing I wanted to share is that the ray tracing is a lot better now. A lot better and a lot more fine-tuned. And, yo, let's just say the ray tracing is a lot better. I'll just leave it at that. Now, the fourth thing I want to tell you, and this right here was very surprising, but Spider-Man 2 may have, you see how Ratchet and Clank got the rift apart and you go into different like how you got the Spideyverse and all this other stuff? Spider-Man 2, let's just say Spider-Man 2 has the ability to go from like different like Spideyverses and stuff like that. So just like how you saw in the movie and you got different places you can go and stuff like that, that is something that can happen in Spider-Man 2. Like, that is a possibility. It can be done. It's been explored. I'm not sure if it was finalized though, but it is something that was heavily explored to be able to not just have the game set in, you know, Manhattan and stuff like that, but the game to have a setting in other areas outside of the norm. And that right there got me like going crazy. Now, another thing I want to share with y'all in terms of Spider-Man 2 and some of the tech info is this. Now, this right here is real crazy. So, there's technology, right? If you go look up, there's a gentleman, I forgot his name, but there's this thing that's called Blushly. And Blushly is something that they use in Unreal Engine 5. Now, I'm not saying Spider-Man is built on Unreal Engine. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's some technology that's supposed to be coming to Spider-Man 2 where, let's say, something falls on the ground and it breaks down the ground. Like, you can literally continue to break away the actual concrete. So it's not just about buildings falling or breaking or everything. Like, the destructible environment is also in the terrain, in the concrete of the game as well, which is very, very interesting because it's supposed to bring the boss battles to life. Another thing about Spider-Man 2 in terms of the tech details and like the tech info is Venom. Like, I'm not sure if they're gonna give you the opportunity to play as Venom or you just fight him as a boss character or something. But some of the tech that's being developed for Spider-Man 2 and being added to this engine, a lot of the tech points to signs that you will be able to use Venom in the next Spider-Man 2, just based off the tech that's being made. So I found that to be very interesting, but it's not confirmed that you'll be able to play as Venom or anything like that. But the things that Venom can do and the results of the impact based off the abilities that Venom has, a lot of these things is being implemented into the game from a tech design standpoint. So it's like all signs point to some sort of experience that we would get a chance to have with Venom. So that right there is crazy to me. Now, another thing about Spider-Man, and this right here is crazy. So, a lot of what we saw in Spider-Man and a little bit of what we saw in Miles Morales is going to be fully explored on PS5. But here's the key thing. I'm not sure if Spider-Man 2 is going to be on PS4 and PS5. From what I'm hearing is, I can't confirm this yet, but from what I'm hearing, Spider-Man 2 may be a PS5 only title. It may be a PS5 only title, and we may see it next year, but it might not release until 2023. All right, but the PS5 Spider-Man 2 is supposed to be a PS5 only title. This is what I'm hearing, and based upon all the other things that I'm hearing in terms of the tech that's in it, it all makes sense in terms of it being a PS5 exclusive title. Now, another thing I want to throw out there, and this wasn't confirmed to me, but it was something that was heavily explored. But the opportunity to have multiplayer in Spider-Man 2. Now, I'm not saying that this is a game where it's like Marvel's Avengers and stuff and it's built to have. No, I'm not talking about like that. I'm talking about having like a mode that's separate from the single player experience that will allow you to have multiplayer in this particular game and stuff like that. And the reason why is because there's a lot of things in Spider-Man 2 that's going to be heavily influenced by a lot of the comics. And that right there is very telling, because put it like this, right? When you look at like certain battles that Spider-Man, like was in, it wasn't just him, you know what I'm saying? He would use the webs and somebody else would come and do this and do that. Like, it's real crazy with what's supposed to be coming and what's supposed to be happening with this Spider-Man 2 game. But based off the technology and the engine and everything that they're doing and things that they learn from their experience with developing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, yo, it's gonna be crazy. Now, another thing that I will tell you about the next Spider-Man is that weather is supposed to play a major role in the game. Like dynamic weather is supposed to play a major role in the game, and also you're gonna see a lot more of Peter Parker too. So these things that I'm saying has been explored, in Spider-Man, but Spider-Man 2, next level, a whole new trajectory of what it can be done. So the final thing I want to say about this is the references that was used to explain the detail of Spider-Man 2 and what's coming. Do y'all remember the Unreal Engine 5 demo that we saw when they unveiled it on PlayStation 5? How the girl was like flying through the world and everything, and it looked like a cinematic movie. Like, it was crazy and stuff like that. How open it was and everything, and like how dense like the city, like that city was and everything like that. That is the type of detail to expect with Spider-Man 2. Like, go back and look at that Unreal Engine 5 trailer, that they showed. And that's the level of quality you can expect come 2023 when Spider-Man 2 is supposed to actually come out. So, yeah, get excited, man. Because what's happening now going forward with these different games, we're going to see things that we thought wasn't even possible. And the last thing I would say, which is very interesting, is a lot of the technology that not just Sony, but Microsoft and a lot of game engines and just developers around the world, the cloud is being utilized in a major way from a development standpoint within these video games. So anybody that was sleeping on a cloud technology before, you need to wake up now. You really need to wake up now, because the cloud is going to allow for a lot of data, a lot of streaming, a lot of better game design, period. I'll give you an example of what I mean. When you look at Microsoft Flight Simulator, a lot of that data and detail is literally from the cloud. like instantly stream it in from the cloud, yo. Like natively. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable what can happen now. So yeah, man, that's some of the tech in terms of Spider-Man 2. And another thing that was very interesting, and I didn't get a confirmation on this, but I did ask about it. But you see how you got so many buildings in a lot of these open world games, like you may be able to walk inside every single building, be able to go up to each, like everything that you see should be accessible to you, which means that everything that you see is not designed to be cosmetic only. If you see it, you can go inside it, like be a part of it. Like everything is really a part of the world. So that's it. Like I just want to share some details that I received regarding Spider-Man PS5 and the tech being designed for this particular game, and you know, just a couple of features that is, you know, being discussed and stuff like that. But I'm very excited, and if they do bring that multiplayer, it will be something separate from the single player, obviously. And I think it's something that could be very healthy for the universe of Spider-Man and where it could go and how unique it can be when you know, have somebody that you can play with in that world. So get ready, man. Like it's gonna be very interesting. So there's a bunch of other things that I'm working on too, a bunch of other interviews that I'm gonna have shortly to share with y'all. But as of right now, this next generation of gaming is gonna be unlike anything we ever seen or experienced from a development tech standpoint. Get ready, get hyped. You already know what it is. Y'all got questions? Talk to me right now. Let me know what's up.
HipHopGamer, Logitech.